Let's look at the lesson Maggada Saheba from Siri Kannada grade 8. In part 1, I had briefly explained the lesson. Now let's look at the lesson in detail. Maggada Saheba Andere Abdul Rahim Saheb. So the author is introducing us to the Lord or Master of Loom. He is only Abdul Rahim Saheb. ಅವನು ಮಗ್ಗವನ್ನು ಮುಟ್ಟದೆ 20 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿದೆ. It has been more than 20 years since he has even touched the loom. ಆದರೂ ಅವನನ್ನು ಮಗ್ಗದ ಸಾಹೇಬನೆಂದೇ ಕರೆಯುವುದು ವಾಡಿಕೆ. In spite of that, in spite of him not touching the loom for more than 20 years, he is still called as the master of loom. That has been the practice to call him as the master of loom. ಅವರ ಪೂರ್ವಜರು ಸಾಹೇಬ್ ಬಹದ್ದೂರ್ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಹುಸೇನ್ ಸಾಹೇಬರು ಜನಪ್ರಿಯ ಮತ್ತು ಧನವಂತ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದರು. ಸೊ ಹಿಸ್ ancestor of Abdul Rahim, his name is Hussain Sahebaru. He was very popular and a very wealthy person. ಅವರು ಮಸೀದಿ ಮಾತ್ರವಲ್ಲ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನವನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿಸಿದರು. So, he not only built a mosque, he also built a temple. ಇಂದಿಗೂ ಈ ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ರಥೋತ್ಸವದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರ ಮನೆತನದ ಹಿರಿಯ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗಿಂತಲೂ ಮುಂದಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಸಾದವನ್ನು ಪಡೆಯುವ ಹಕ್ಕಿದೆ. So, even today, ಇಂದಿಗೂ means even today, during the chariot festival, Rathotsava means chariot festival time. So, during that time, a senior representative, Hiriya Pratinidhi means a senior representative of that family has the right to receive the prasad before anybody else. ಇಂತಹ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಪದ್ಧತಿಗಳು ಇಂದಿಗೂ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿವೆ. So such traditions and customs are followed even today in Karnataka. ಇದರಿಂದ ಪೂರ್ವಜರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಂತಹ ಘನತೆ, ಸದಾಚಾರ, ಸದ್ಭಾವನೆಗಳು ಇದ್ದವು ಎಂದು ತಿಳಿಯುವುದು. So from this we come to understand that in our ancestors there was so much of dignity, they were so virtuous and goodwill. ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ ನನ್ನದೇ ಹುಟ್ಟೂರಿನ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರ ವಸತಿ ಇದೆ. So he is giving us another example. So ಉದಾಹರಣೆಗೆ means for example, ನನ್ನದೇ ಹುಟ್ಟೂರಿನ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ, next to the hometown of the author, ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರ ವಸತಿ ಇದೆ. So there is a Muslim settlement next to his hometown. ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪವಿತ್ರ ಸ್ಥಾನವಿದೆ. So inside that place there is a sacred place within that place. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉರ್ಸ್ ಎಂಬ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನರ ಧಾರ್ಮಿಕ ಉತ್ಸವದ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆತನದ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರಬೇಕೆಂಬ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ ಇತ್ತು. So during the religious festival called as Urs, they had a tradition to have one representative from a Hindu family. So this was the tradition and culture that our ancestors were following. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಗಣೇಶ ಚತುರ್ಥಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಷ್ಟಮಿಗಳ ಮರುದಿನ ಮುಸಲ್ಮಾನ ಸಮಾಜದ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಿತ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರುವುದು, ಕುಶಲೋಪಚಾರ ಮಾತನಾಡುವುದು, ನಾವು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮೋದಕ, ಉಂಡೆ, ಚಕುಲಿ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಭಕ್ಷ್ಯ ಭೋಜಗಳನ್ನು ವಿತರಣೆ ಮಾಡುವ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯವಿತ್ತು. So this is similarly, his daughter is giving us another example. The next day of Marudina means the next day of Ganesh Chaturthi and Krishnashtami, prominent members or heads of the Muslim community would visit their house, visit the author's house, and they would inquire the welfare of their people, and sweets will be distributed. Festive delicacies like modak, unde, chakuli, etc. will be distributed and given to them. So this was a custom that was followed. ಒಂದು ಬಾರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ತಾಯಿ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದ ಕಾರಣ ತಂದೆಯವರು ಅಂಗಡಿಯಿಂದ ಲಡ್ಡುಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಂಡು ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂತು. So once, ಒಂದು ಬಾರಿ means once, at one time, the author's mother fell sick Kaile means sickness. She had some sickness and so she could not prepare any festive delicacies. So the father, the author's father, went to a shop nearby and he got some laddus. He bought some laddus and distributed it to the Muslim members. And they got angry. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂತು. They got angry because ರಾಯರೇ ಅಂಗಡಿಯಿಂದ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳಲು ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹಣವಿಲ್ಲವೇ. So he's asking, do I not have money to go and buy it from the shop? ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಯಿಲೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಒಂದು ತುಂಡು ಬೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನು, ಕಲ್ಲು ಸಕ್ಕರೆ, ಹರಳನ್ನೋ ಕೊಡಿ. If somebody is sick at home, it is understandable that no dishes can be prepared. Why don't you just give a piece of jaggery or a sugar candy? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಬ್ಬದ ಪೂಜೆಯ ಪ್ರಸಾದವನ್ನು ನಾವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ತಲತಲಾಂತರದಿಂದ ಬಂದ ಹಳೆಯ ಸಂಪ್ರದಾಯ. So he says, it's been an age-old custom. Since generations, it's an age-old custom that we accept the prasad of all of your festivals. ಅಂಗಡಿಯ ಮಿಠಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಸಾದವೆಂದು ಕೊಡುವುದು ಸರಿಯೇ? When we are following such a tradition, is it right to buy sweets from the shop and give it? Will that become prasad? ಎಂದು ಕೇಳಿಯೇ ಬಿಟ್ಟರು. He was annoyed and so he asked the author's father, can a shop's sweet be equivalent to a prasad of a festival? ಅದು ಹೇಗೆ ಇರಲಿ. ಈಗ ಅಬ್ದುಲ್ ರಹೀಮನಿಗೆ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಸಾಹೇಬ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ಬಹು ಸಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತಿತ್ತು. So now the author is coming to the story of Abdul Rahim and he says, if somebody calls Abdul Rahim as Maggada Saheba, he would get very, very angry. ಅನಿಷ್ಟ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಹೆಸರೆತ್ತ ಬೇಡಿ, ಮಗ್ಗವಲ್ಲ ಕೊರಳಿಗೆ ಹಗ್ಗ ಎಂಬುದು ಆತನ ನಿರಾಶೆ, ರೋಷಗಳ ಉದ್ಗಾರವಾಗಿತ್ತು. So he used to feel so frustrated and he will say, that's an unlucky loom. It's not a loom, it's a neck tied to my it's a rope tied to my neck. So he was so frustrated and so angry about the loom. So there should be a reason, right, for him to be so angry and so frustrated. ಏಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವನ ಅಜ್ಜನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷರು ಅಗ್ಗದ ವಿಲಾಯಿತಿ ಮಿಲ್ಲಿನ ಬಟ್ಟೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇರಿಬಿಟ್ಟರು. Because the Britishers, they imposed cheap clothes manufactured in the foreign mills, in the British mills on Indians. ಅವೇನು ನಿಜಕ್ಕೂ ನಿಷ್ಕೃತ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು. So they were so inferior in quality. ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷದೊಳಗೆ ಕಳೇಬರಗಳಾಗಿ ಹರುಕು ಚಿಂದಿಯಾಗುವುದು. Within a year they would all reduce to rags. ಬಣ್ಣವು ಒಂದೇ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿವರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಎರಡೇ ತಿಂಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಯವಾಗುವುದು. So within 1 month the color of the cloth will fade and within 2 months the color will totally disappear. ಆದರೇನು ಬಹು ಅಗ್ಗ, but it was very, very cheap. Agga means cheap. ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದದು ಅಗ್ಗದ ವಸ್ತು and people also prefer to have cheap things. So ಗುಣವನ್ನು ಯಾರು ಕೇಳುತ್ತಾರೆ? Nobody was bothered about the quality of the product. ಅಗ್ಗದ ಮಾಲಿನದೇ ಆಧಿಪತ್ಯವಾಯಿತು. So only the cheap products dominated the market. ಮಗ್ಗದವರು ಭಿಕಾರಿಗಳಾದರು and the weavers or the loomers, they became beggars. ಅವರ ಅನ್ನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಚಕಾರವಾಯಿತು. So their livelihood itself was in danger because of this. Papa Abdul Rahimana gati. So now you can imagine the condition of Abdul Rahim. ಹಿರಿಯರು ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ಭವ್ಯವಾದ ಹಳೆಯ ಕಾಲದ ಮನೆ. So he had a very magnificent olden styled house which was built by the elders. ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ತೋಟ and there was a vast garden as well. ಆದರೆ ಮಗ್ಗಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಧೂಳು ತುಂಬಿ ಜೇಡನ ಬಲೆಗಳಿಂದ ಆಚ್ಛಾದಿತವಾಗಿವೆ. So the looms have become, they are covered with dust and spider web now. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲವೋ ಎಂಬಂತಾಗಿದೆ. So there was even a problem or shortage of even food in his house. ಈಗ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಹಠ, ಒಂದೇ ವ್ರತ. So now he had a very stubborn wish or a stubborn vow. ಅವನ 3 ಗಂಡು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಕೊಡಿಸಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ನೌಕರರನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಎಂದು. So he was very stubborn that he has to give a little bit, at least basic education to his children and make them work in government jobs. ಅಂತೆಯೇ 2 ಮಕ್ಕಳು ವಿಧೇಯರಾಗಿ ಅವನ ಅಭಿಷ್ಟವನ್ನು ನೆರವೇರಿಸಿದರು. So likewise 2 of his sons fulfilled his wish obediently. ಒಬ್ಬ ಸರ್ಕಾರಿ ಕಚೇರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗುಮಾಸ್ತನಾದ. Kacheri is office, Gumasta is like a clerk. So one of them in a government office, he became a clerk. Innobba postmaster nada. And the second, one more son, he became a postmaster. ಆದರೆ ಕೊನೆಯ ಮಗ ಕರೀಂ ನಿಂದ ಬಹಳ ನಿರಾಶೆ ಉಂಟಾಯಿತು. But he was disappointed. Nirashe is like disappointed by his last son. ಕೊನೆಯ ಮಗ, ಕೊನೆಯ means last. By his last or the youngest son, Karim. ಕರೀಂ ಆಟದಲ್ಲೂ ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲೂ ಬಹು ಚುರುಕು. So he was a very smart boy in studies as well as in sports. ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತ, intelligent. ಹಸನ್ಮುಖಿ, always a smiling face. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಬೇಕಾದವನು. He was liked by everybody. ಆದರೆ ಏನೋ ಕಾರಣದಿಂದ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಅನಿಷ್ಟ ಮಗ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಅಭಿರುಚಿ. But for some reason he was very much interested in that unlucky loom. ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಮಗ್ಗವನ್ನು ಮುಟ್ಟಲು ತಂದೆ ಬಿಡುತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. At home the father would never let him touch the loom. ಆದರೆ ಮಗನ ಗ್ರಹಚಾರ ಎನ್ನಿ ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಮಗ್ಗ ಉದ್ಭವಿಸಬೇಕೇ. So now the father, he considered the loom so unlucky, and at home he would never let Karim touch it. But call it fate or destiny, that same loom which the father hated so much was also present in Karim's school. How is it? How can a loom be present in school? We will see that. Mahatma Gandhi ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆಲವು ಶಾಲೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನವೀನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಆರಂಭವಾಯಿತು. So inspired or encouraged by Gandhiji, some schools, a few schools had started something called as an innovative education. That is ನವೀನ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ. ಈ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಲವು ತರದ ಔದ್ಯೋಗಿಕ ಶಿಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನು ಕೊಡುವುದು. So according as per this scheme, the students were given occasional education. ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹಸ್ತಕೌಶಲವನ್ನು, ದೇಹ ಶ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಗೌರವ ಭಾವನವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುವುದು ಒಂದು ಭಾಗವಾಗಿತ್ತು. So they wanted to introduce this vocational education so that the students get a sense of skill and they have dignity. They look at manual labor with dignity and respect. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಬಡಗಿಯ ಕೆಲಸ, ಬಡಗಿ means carpenter. So a few of them were taught carpentry. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಬೆತ್ತದ ಕುರ್ಚಿ ಕೆಲಸ. A few of them were taught how to make chairs out of cane. ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಸಾಮಗ್ರಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡುವುದು. So few chair and few things out of cane, they were taught to do it. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಕೃಷಿ is like farming or agriculture. So a few students were taught farming. ಕೆಲವರಿಗೆ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಕಲಿಸತೊಡಗಿದ್ದರು. And a few students were taught how to use the loom. They were taught weaving. So ಹುಡುಗ ಕರೀಂ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಈಜುವಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಕಲಿತು ಬಹು ನಿಪುಣನಾಗಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟ. So Karim anyway had lot of interest in learning the loom. So he learnt it very easily. He picked up the skill so easily, just like how a fish can easily swim in water. So he picked up the skill and he became very skillful within a few days. ಅವನ ತಂದೆಗೆ ರೋಷ ಉಕ್ಕಿ ಬಂತು. And now his father, he became so furious upon knowing that he is learning weaving in school. ಮುಖ್ಯೋಪಾಧ್ಯಾಯ ಶಂಕರಪ್ಪ ಅವರೊಡನೆ ನಿಷ್ಠೂರವಾಗಿ ಜಗಳವಾಡಿದ್ದನು. So the father went and had a very bitter quarrel with the headmaster of the school, Shankarappa. ಆದರೆ ಹುಡುಗ ಕರೀಂ ಶಾಲೆಯ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆಯನ್ನು ತನ್ನದೇ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತಿಕೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಕೌಶಲದಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದ. So Karim had used his own wisdom and skill and he had made a small change in the loop. ಅದನ್ನು ಶಂಕರಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ಸ್ವಾಭಾವಿಕವಾಗಿಯೇ ಪ್ರಶಂಸೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಲಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ವರದಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರು. ಸೊ ಶಂಕರಪ್ಪ he praised Karim for the changes that he made, and he also immediately informed or reported it to the higher officials. ಅದರ ಫಲಸ್ವರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಿಂದ ಹುಡುಗ ಕರೀಂನಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳ್ಳಿಯ ಪದಕವು 100 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬಹುಮಾನವು ಬಂದು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು. Okay, so since the headmaster he reported this to higher officials, as a result of that Karim got a silver medal as a prize and he also got 100 rupees as an award. ಹುಡುಗನ ಉತ್ಸಾಹ ಆಕಾಶಕ್ಕೇರಿತು and Karim's enthusiasm skyrocketed after he got this award. ತಂದೆ ಈ ಹಠಮಾರಿಗೆ ಮಗ್ಗದ ಹುಚ್ಚನ್ನು ಬಿಡಿಸಬೇಕೆಂದು ಶಾಲೆಯಿಂದಲೇ ಬಿಡಿಸಿಬಿಟ್ಟನು. So the father thought, if I leave this boy, like just leave it to him, he will be obsessed with this move. So I have to get rid of this obsession. The only way is to discontinue his studies and stop sending him to school. So the father decided to stop sending him to school. Headmaster Shankarappa ಅವರ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಅನುನಯ ವಿನಯಗಳನ್ನು ಗಣಿಸದೆ ನಿರಾಕರಿಸಿದನು. So Shankarappa pleaded and requested him to not discontinue Karim from school. But the father refused to even listen to any of his requests and pleas. ಒಂದು ದಿನ ಶಾಲೆಯ ವಾರ್ಷಿಕೋತ್ಸವ ಸಮಾರೋಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಳೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ನಾಟಕವಿತ್ತು. So one day during the conclusion of an school annual day function, there was a program given by the old students, like the alumni of that school. They were going to give a drama or a play. They were going to give a program. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೀಂ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸ್ತ್ರೀ ಪಾತ್ರ. ಸೊ ಕರೀಂ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅ ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ರೋಲ್ ಟು ಪ್ಲೇ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆಂದು ತಾಯಿಯಿಂದ ಗೌಪ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದ ಚಿನ್ನದ ಸರವನ್ನು ಅಲಂಕಾರಕ್ಕೆಂದು ಎರವಲು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ he had to play a female role, he secretly borrowed a old-fashioned gold necklace or chain from his mother. ನಾಟಕ ಮುಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. And after that program or the drama, he never returned home. ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಮಾಯವಾಗಿ ಹೋದ. He disappeared somewhere. He did not return home and nobody knew where he went. So we will continue in the next video.